cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well-funded.
The Posse Comitatus Act makes it illegal for the military to roam the streets of America, subjugating the law enforcement duties of local and state law enforcement. Obama, like he has done with virtually all laws, has found a way around this one. His civilian national security force that he promised to create while campaigning in 2008 is now coming to fruition. In a video that has gone viral, former Marine Colonel Pete Martino testified before a local New Hampshire City Council meeting as to whether the city should purchase armored vehicles for their local police force. He testified how local and state law enforcement, not to mention the Department of Homeland Security, has become indistinguishable from the military, that Obama's civilian national security force has arrived.
What's happening here is we're building a domestic military because it's unlawful or unconstitutional to use American troops on American soil. So what we're doing is we're building a military. My best friend, who's a SWAT officer in Nashua, who came to Iraq with me to train the Iraqi police, sent me an email with a picture of him in the media on the streets of Watertown, Mass., wearing the exact same combat gear that we had in Iraq, only it was a different color. And the way we do things in the military is called task organization. You take a command, and then you attach units to it in order to accomplish the mission. What's happening is Homeland Security is pre-staging gear, equipment, consistent. What they're trying to do is use standardized vehicles, standardized equipment. I saw a picture in the Boston Globe during the marathon bombing where there was a state police officer, actually there were two officers, they both had identical helmets, flak jackets, weapons, everything I wore in Iraq, only it was all blue. The officer on one side had a big patch on his back that said Massachusetts State Police. Another officer next to him, his patch said Boston Police. And so what we're doing here, and let's not kid about it, we're building a domestic army and we're shrinking the military because the government is afraid of its own citizens.
Yes, Americans have become the new enemy. Remember Al-Qaeda? Those are the guys who flew airplanes into the World Trade Center on 9/11. Weren't they supposed to be America's enemies? Now the so-called rebels in Syria openly identify as Al-Qaeda, and they're being gorged with millions of dollars in weapons by the Obama administration. But everyday Americans have become the new enemy. And Obama's civilian national security force is just getting started. Let us remember that not only was a militarized police roaming the streets of Watertown after the Boston Marathon terrorist attack, but de facto martial law was declared. They were looking for an unarmed teenager, Yahar Zaharnoff. Citizens were confined to their homes, and hundreds of militarized police conducted house-to-house searches, illegal searches. Citizens were taken into custody without being charged with a crime. If one unarmed teenager can put an entire metropolitan area under martial law, then no city is safe under the rogue Obama administration. You, conservative America, have become public enemy number one according to Barack Obama, and Al-Qaeda is no longer an enemy at all. In fact, it's become an ally of the Barack Obama administration. But it is really Barack Obama who is the enemy.
Hey, Rosie. Yes, sir. See you tomorrow, buddy. You too, baby. Always and forever, brother.
So what is this for? What do you got? What is this?
This is basically a rolling, like a shield for us, for a team to hide behind. It's bulletproof.
What situation would you be in that you would need to pull this out?
We have guys that shoot at police officers. So like they have AK-47s or automatic weapons, and they shoot at us. And this is like a rolling. We can use this as a shield to move the team.
I mean,
closer.
so what do you call that kind of a vehicle?
This is a MRAP, they call it.
MRAP. Wow.
So it's a military surplus vehicle. The military went away from.
But now the local police are using it for rioters or things like that, like Black Friday. You just have Black Friday. That could have been a situation.
Basically, it's just it's cover for our team movements. It's bulletproof, so there's a lot of people out there with heavy machine guns and heavy weapons, and we use it it's bulletproof, so we can use it as a shield.
And I know there's a lot of people concerned in that the military turning on our own citizens in case there were some event that would trigger that. How do you guys feel about that?
They can't use it.
Constitutionally, Obama's just kind of stepping all over anything constitutional right now, so I think people are really afraid of their government right now. And then when you see this kind of a vehicle on I mean, it seems like this is a campaign, right? All these police officers out in front of Walmart.
It's not a campaign. We're shopping with the children.
It's you are okay. So there's something else.
Oh yeah.
No,
okay.
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 This is the kids in there shopping.
Oh sure. But you know, from a parent, from a citizen.
The kids love to see this stuff for the SWAT team and stuff.
Sure.
And then
yeah. Well, my son would too.
Yeah.
But then, as a citizen and someone who's raising children in a world that I don't know what it's going to look like with them, I feel like this is also a kind of a desensitization type of tool, where they're going to think it's normal. You know, a lot of kids grow up and AK-47s in the hands of people policing them while they're going to school is normal.
Times are crazy right now. The world is crazy right now.
Everything changed.
Everything's going crazy. So,
I mean, I know you guys are on the front line and you need to be protected, but I know there's a lot of people worried about that turning on citizens who are deemed to be, you know, terrorists, and that is a very loose term now. Who is a terrorist?
It's worldwide.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Sad.
Well, the nice thing about this piece of equipment is that if somebody is directing fire toward a team that's trying to get in, they safely can pull right up to a front, take enemy fire, and still try to address a threat without being fear of getting shot.
So I'm thinking that is totally appropriate in Iraq, but what kind of a situation in the U.S. would you see that happening?
I mean, we've got a lot of constitutionalists and a lot of people that stockpile weapons, a lot of ammunition. I mean, we've got a lot of constitutionalists and a lot of people that stockpile weapons, a lot of ammunition. They have weapons here locally.
Do you think that's their right to have those, or do you think that that's inappropriate? I mean, because not all those people don't always turn on their government. They don't turn on the cops unless there's, you know, I guess reason they think to do that. And some of them are pretty in crazy land. Some of them, but
well, you know, it's worldwide. The world's unstable right now. When you look anywhere, you watch the news, you watch
open borders. I know.
You know, I mean, we could have this debate. I mean, we could all sit here and talk about it all day long. Our thing is here's look for the kids today.
Right.
You know, we're showing them our equipment. We're not making it a mystery. It's not a. You know, if we get officers that are pinned down, this is a great rescue vehicle to get them out of a situation. I mean, there's been so much in the news.
So up there.